Since kindergarten, Sophia and I have never gone more than 3 days without seeing each other. But ever since our families started talking about getting us engaged, she's been avoiding me for a whole year. She blocked me on everything. My phone, social media, everything. The security guards at her company were told not to let anyone without permission in, especially me. If I even showed up near her place, they were supposed to tell me to just turn around and leave. Eventually, her friends couldn't stand it anymore, and one of them, Maria, helped me sneak in to see Sophia. When I got there, I heard Sophia's cold voice through the door. "Like a pet that just comes when you call," she said. "He's got no skills, no personality. Getting engaged to him is beneath me." I was holding the door handle but didn't push it open. Maria, who was right behind me, quickly covered my ears. "Bro," she whispered, "don't listen to Sophia. She's just drunk and not thinking straight. I'll go in there and tell her what I think." With that, she was about to push the door open, but I grabbed Maria's sleeve and shook my head. All along, I just wanted to ask Sophia why she was so against the engagement, why she was even causing such a big fuss about it among the rich families we knew. I had called her my sister for nearly 17 years, even though she wasn't really my sister by blood. If she was going to get married, why couldn't it be to me? Now I knew why. It wasn't because I wasn't good enough or handsome enough. It was because, to her, I had always been just a little pet she had raised since I was young, just for fun to pass the time, or just something nice to keep around. Maria helped wipe my tears, whispering, "Can't believe what Sarah and the others are chatting about. None of it's true." "It's okay, Maria," I said, taking a deep breath. "Can you give me a ride back? I don't want to look for her anymore." Just as we turned to leave, someone inside opened the door. We were all surprised, standing face to face with Sarah. She had no idea what had just happened and dragged me inside. This little get-together was everyone's way of trying to convince Sophia to make up with me. Sarah made me sit across from Sophia. "Sophia," Sarah said, "even if you're against the family's wishes, don't treat Leo like this. Leo is someone we've all watched grow up. Talk it out. Don't let a sharp tongue and a kind heart cause misunderstandings." Sophia hadn't lifted her head since I entered the room, but her hand holding the cup was turning white. Maria came in, made eye contact with Sarah, and shook her head. Just as Maria was about to pull me out, Sophia finally spoke up. "Leo," she said, "why don't you ever listen to me? Didn't I say we shouldn't meet until Grandpa and my parents changed their minds? Why are you being so stubborn?" I hung my head, unable to speak. The room was tense. The last time Sophia was this angry was when a close older friend of hers confessed that he liked me. Maria sighed and signaled everyone to leave and let us talk alone. Sophia took a frustrated sip of her drink. "Could you have some self-respect?" she said. "I've told you I'm not interested in you. I never saw you as a man. Instead of holding on to me, how about you try to improve yourself? All you do is hang around women. Are you dumb? I'm going to be in charge of the company completely soon, and I'll be traveling for work. I can't have you tagging along everywhere." I felt like I was sinking into a freezing ocean, my whole body cold and unable to find words. This is how she had seen me all these years. "So just stay away from me," she said. "Grandpa's probably going to give up on the engagement soon anyway, got it? You're not going to bother Maria and the others to find me again?" "It won't happen again," I said. Images from my past flashed in my mind like a movie reel. I used to cherish these memories as my most valuable treasures. How silly it all seems now. I had ignored how Sophia became more and more impatient with me from high school on. I ignored her clear dislike for my style and her disbelief when her older friend confessed he liked me. "Can't believe someone actually likes him," she had said. I looked at Sophia sincerely. "Sophia," I said, "I really appreciate you saving me when I was a kid. I'll remember this from now on. I won't bother you ever again." With that, I left without looking back. When I got back to the large house and turned on the lights, it was as empty as ever. My parents were never home, and my grandmother lived in the mountains for her health. I heard from Sophia's mother that since my family only had the maid to care for me when I was 3, the maid left to buy groceries and forgot to lock the door. I ended up running out and fell in the street. Sophia, who was playing in her yard, heard me crying and brought me back to her house. For nearly 10 years after that, I grew up following Sophia around. We went to the same elementary school, middle school, and even the same college. When I got bullied for being alone, Sophia had my back, teaching me how to stand up for myself. All in all, Sophia had been more present in my life than my parents ever were. I depended on her too much, so when she started avoiding me, I was terrified. I looked for her desperately. A year wasn't long, but it felt harder than the past several years combined. I sat at my computer, staring at an email saying I had been accepted into an exchange program. The therapists I had seen suggested a change of environment and finding new hobbies to distract myself. I had thought of telling Sophia about it, but I just laughed at myself instead. She would probably be glad for me to be far away. When I left, I just sent a text to my parents, though they probably wouldn't care. I landed in Italy, managed the paperwork, and found a place to rent. It wasn't as hard as I had imagined. While waiting for school to start, I traveled and explored some local cities. The therapy was right. A change of scenery really does change your mindset and habits. After getting robbed multiple times, I decided to learn self-defense. No one was going to look out for me anymore. I had to protect myself. 2 months into school in Italy, Maria called. "Leo," she said, "why didn't you tell us you were in Italy? We found out by chance from a classmate of yours." "Yeah," I said. "I just needed a break to study and clear my head abroad. It's just for a few months, don't worry." "How's life there?" she asked. "Is it safe where you stay?" "Everything's great," I said. "Really safe." "All right then," she said. "Maybe you should tell your sister. She has some friends there." "No need," I said. "I'm all good. No need to trouble anyone." "Okay, well," she said, "if anything comes up, you can reach out to me or your sister." In the office, Maria only turned off her phone after the call ended. "Grown up, huh?" Sophia had a gloomy look on her face. "Come on, Sophia," Maria said, sitting on the sofa and looking at Leo's exchange student application. "You were the one who told him not to bother you." "Not bothering me doesn't mean he can't call or text," Sophia said. "Oh my God, look at your blocked list," Maria said, rolling her eyes. "You said even if it was just for show, it had to be real. And then bam, you blocked him. How's he supposed to reach you? Even I wouldn't bother." Maria was Sophia's childhood friend and had watched me grow up. She kind of knew about my family situation. Growing up neglected by my parents, I was a quiet kid, always staying close to Sophia. But Sophia didn't have romantic feelings for me. Even though she worried about me, she pretended to be tough. What a mess, Maria thought. Let them handle it however they want. After Maria left, Sophia massaged her temples. A feeling of frustration was building in her chest. It was even worse than seeing so many portraits of herself in Leo's studio. Their families were pressuring them to get engaged. Leo was just starting his 3rd year in college, a kid who had never dated. What did he know? Sophia hesitated a moment, then took my name off her blocked contact list. She then called David, her secretary, into the room. "You wanted to see me?" David's lips curled up in a momentary triumph before he controlled it. "This shows my tough love teaching is working," he said. "No upbringing, no corrections when they make mistakes. He's in his 3rd year of college, yet he only hangs around you. How can he amount to anything? A guy without a strong will won't be able to stand on his own? Without harsh words?" David explained with a smile. "And going abroad might not mean progress. Maybe he's trying those romance novel mind games. I'm a guy. I know these little tricks. To cure this strong liking, You must keep the right distance." Sophia thought about it. "But he's never traveled far before," she said. "By junior year, though, he should be fine with anything. When I was younger than him, I left for college in a new city. It wasn't that hard. No need to treat boys like babies." Sophia thought some more. It made sense. Maybe Leo had misunderstood his feelings, thinking affection was love. It was time to let him try the world on his own. She had David cancel her flight to Italy and turned back to work. Bang, bang, bang. Acknowledging the coach, I put down the heavy gun, massaging my wrist. My shooting had gotten better since last time. I packed up and cleared my head. I had a combat class in the afternoon and needed to get home early tonight. I didn't want to run into that annoying neighbor again. Just at the door, a small figure approached me. I quietly stepped aside, but the person stopped right in front of me. "Excuse me? Are you Leo?" The Chinese was perfect. "Yes," I said. "And you are?" I looked up in curiosity. The woman wore a suit that fit her perfectly. She was nearly 5 feet 7 inches tall and seemed to have a lot of authority. Yet, as our eyes met, that feeling disappeared. Her eyes were surprisingly deep blue. "I'm Catherine, a friend of Sophia's," she said. "Nice to meet you." "Sophia mentioned you came here for school," she said. "She's worried and asked me to look after you. That apartment isn't safe. I've arranged another place. Do you want to move there?" "You can call Sophia," Catherine said, gesturing. Leading us to a nearby cafe, she dialed on her phone, chatted briefly, then passed it to me. "Leo, yeah," I heard Sophia's familiar voice. "Catherine has some business deals with our family. She'll sort out the housing. You can ask her about anything." I studied myself at the familiar voice, almost like before Sophia started avoiding me. It could be time, distance, or a year of separation working its magic. I wasn't as upset as I thought I'd be. "Got it, thanks," I said. The call paused for a second, then continued. "But don't hold on too tight. Learn to be independent, make some progress. Got it?" "Understood," I said. After hanging up, I handed the phone back to Catherine. I obediently followed her to the car. Considering the business partnerships, Sophia had probably promised Catherine some benefits. For safety's sake abroad, I wouldn't resist. In the car, Catherine called someone to pack my stuff. Then she took me for a Chinese meal. An hour later, the driver drove straight into a large estate. "Leo, this way," Catherine said. "Thank you," I said, stepping out. I saw a butler and maids waiting. Catherine gestured for me to follow her in. "No need to be formal," she said. "I met you when you were 7 before I left the country." Curiously, I glanced up, meeting her gaze. "You and Sophia were playing hide-and-seek," Catherine reminisced. "You bumped into my leg." Leo made quite an impression back then, with her father. They hadn't just entered when a tiny thing bumped into her. Kids that age would cry loudly if hurt, but little Leo just sat on the floor holding his nose. Before she could comfort him, he got up on his own, whispered to himself, "Leo doesn't hurt. I'm a good boy." Then he ran off. From what her assistant had gathered that morning, I had probably cried alone without comfort. Back then, Sophia was just a 9-year-old kid and didn't really have time to bother with a neighbor's child. Catherine was thinking if nobody wanted him, maybe she'd take him overseas herself. She didn't expect that over a decade later, she'd actually get to fulfill that childhood thought. Before she knew it, she walked up to the 2nd floor. In a room to the right of the stairs, with the door open, a man and a couple of maids were unpacking my luggage. When the man saw us, he came out and greeted us. "Catherine, Leo," he said. "Weren't you going to move to the flat in the south? Why the change to your house?" Hearing that, I looked at Catherine. She touched the tip of her nose and said, "Oh, my cousin's coming to stay at the flat, so we'll just settle Leo here for now, okay?" The following days were quite peaceful. Catherine set up a small art studio for me in the study on the 3rd floor. When I didn't have class, I would paint in there. Catherine often worked in the study, too. Sometimes she'd sit beside me and watch me paint, joking about how she wanted to collect works from a future master. When she learned I was studying shooting and combat, she offered to be my coach. Noticing that my clothes were all simple and sporty, she had luxury brands send over a bunch of well-matched outfits. She had great taste. Until then, I didn't realize I could dress so well. I really thought my life would always be this calm. Until one day, I sensed something different about the manor's atmosphere. The butler knocked on my door. "Leo," he said, "we're clearing out the manor. You'll need to stay at a hotel for a few days to a week. The driver and a servant will be there, so it won't affect your routine." I hesitated, brushing the door frame with my fingertip. Then I couldn't help but ask, "Is Catherine staying at the hotel too?" This familiar situation made my heart sink. Was Catherine tired of me too? Even though I'd only been here for 3 months. "Catherine is going on a business trip," the butler said. "She'll pick you up once she's back." I clenched my fists, pushing down a bitter feeling, and agreed to go. "All right," I said. "When do we leave?" "We can head out now," he said. "I'll change clothes first," I said. Then I closed the door and chuckled at myself. It's nothing anyway. It's not the first time. Reflecting on my time with Catherine these 3 months, sometimes I felt like I'd met a kindred spirit. Her compulsive little actions, the way she analyzed my paintings. Then again, maybe she's really just busy. I slung a backpack over my shoulder and went downstairs. The manor's maids were mostly gone. Only the butler and driver waited at the front door. A wild thought crossed my mind. Could Catherine be bankrupt? I couldn't help but laugh, then choked on my own spit. Gesturing to the butler, I turned to the kitchen for some water. The manor wasn't familiar to me yet. It's not small, but not too big either. After a drink, I passed a room with its door slightly ajar. The sound of glass breaking coming from inside. Wasn't everyone supposed to be gone? Could it be Catherine's pets, a cat or dog, breaking something? Surely not a person. Curiosity got the better of me. I returned to the kitchen for a knife and pushed open the ajar door. Behind it was a staircase leading down. Was this the basement? The light by the stairs was on, and the walls were adorned with beautiful murals. I held a phone in one hand, a knife in the other, and slowly descended. Another door waited below, intricately crafted. I thought about whether to stop here, thinking about possible danger. Just as I was about to leave, a familiar voice caught my ear. A soft groan, but unmistakably Catherine's voice. I spun around and opened the door. There she was, sitting on the ground, broken wine bottles scattered around her. Catherine clutched a shard of glass in her right hand, with her left hand bloodied. Caught between fleeing and finding the courage to help, I called out from the doorway, a little scared, but not entirely. Catherine, are you okay?" Her body froze, muscles tense, apparently startled to hear me. Catherine turned to face me. "Leo," she said, "how did you find this place? Didn't the butler take you out?" She offered her usual warm smile, ignoring the tremor in her left hand. I felt terrible for minutes, regretting that I had come in. Should I just leave you be? Make sure to take care of that injury. I was about to shut the door when I heard her faint plea. "Don't go. I won't harm you. Don't be afraid. I just had a nightmare and couldn't sleep. I felt a bit scared. Leo, could you keep me company for a bit?" I left the basement to find the butler still at the door. "Leo," he said, "what are your plans?" "I'll stay and look after her," I said. "I'm sure Catherine called you earlier." The butler sighed. "All right, Leo," he said. "Catherine's not dealing with anything serious. It's just that her mother's death anniversary is fast approaching, and she has some bad memories from it." "Yeah," I said. I grabbed the medical kit and headed back down. I helped her up to the basement bed and dressed her wound. "You're not going to ask?" she said. "No," I said, "but if you want to talk—" "Nothing much," she said. "Okay?" With Catherine wide awake, we read books together. I've been unable to sleep well for ages anyway. Sometimes we'd watch movies on a tablet. After 3 days, Catherine seemed back to her usual self and led me out of the basement. The manor staff acted like nothing happened, but between Catherine and me, there was a new subtle understanding. "Leo, could you do me a favor?" I had just finished my final project in the studio when Catherine surprised me at my side with a playful smile. "Of course," I said. Catherine raised an eyebrow. "I haven't even said what it's about," she said. With Catherine's wealth and status, there was nothing I could get her. I hardly knew anyone, so it wasn't about meeting people. So I was the only one who might be useful. "Paint a picture?" I asked. "Or do you need me to be your date for some event?" I shrugged. It's probably because she wants me as her date for something. "Smart guess," she said. "I want to invite you to my Aunt Beatrice's dinner party. My aunt loves introducing me to the noble young men she knows every time. It's tough to get away from her attempts to find me a husband. In the past, there was no one close enough to pretend to be my date, but now you're here." I agreed readily. Though no one really raised me as a kid, I never lacked for money or material things, so I found people to teach me everything I needed to know. That morning, Catherine personally brought a suit to my room. It was custom-made. The suit was classic black, simple, yet with a striking shape, giving off a feeling of elegance and composure. Once dressed, a stylist did my hair to match it. I held the railing on the second floor. Catherine looked up from the couch when she heard me. When she saw me, her deep blue eyes widened with genuine amazement. She quickly made her way upstairs. She stopped 1 step below me. She reached out a hand. "With this handsome prince, care to join me at the dinner?" I couldn't help but laugh. Pretty childish, honestly. I took her hand. Just as I was about to go down the stairs, I noticed she hadn't moved. Confused, I looked up to her, silently asking what was up. "Leo," she said, "that was the first time you've smiled since coming here." "Do you know why I picked that suit for you?" she asked. I shook my head. "Don't let people's poor vision bring you down," she said. "You're already beautiful inside and out." The dinner went smoothly. Lady Beatrice adored me, and none of the supposed suitors Catherine mentioned showed up. After the opening dance, Catherine invited me to the dance floor. "Catherine," I said, "seems like your charm really isn't working. You promised I'd be your shield, but it didn't feel necessary." Catherine looked down. "It's just that some gentleman was a bit too dazzling," she said. I met her gaze, which was deep and mysterious, yet with a hidden intensity. Over the past few months, I had seen that she treated me differently. Not with pity, not just being polite, not even the caring of an older person. It was more like acceptance, spoiling, and admiration. It might sound like something you'd hear in a movie, but that's the best way I can describe it. Catherine had a voice that was like pure music. "I want to be a gardener," she said, "nurturing a flower until it blooms, then cherishing it for life until it fades away." Suddenly, I felt her grip tighten around my waist, holding me close. "Sorry," she said. "I got a bit carried away," though her hold didn't loosen at all. "Catherine," I said, "didn't you leave school early to study abroad? That confession was so cheesy." I mocked her. I understood her intention, though. The dance ended, and I stepped back from her grasp. Catherine didn't follow the dance plan. I had barely taken 2 steps before she pulled me by the arm and started walking away with me. Gasps were heard from the crowd around us. She led me out of the manor, walked straight to the car, and told the driver to leave. Silence filled the ride. When we reached Catherine's estate, she pulled me out again, gently but firmly, not allowing me to refuse. We walked through the main hall, stopping only when we reached the middle of the garden. "Leo," Catherine finally said, dropping her gentle mask, "you didn't reject me." A woman who had built a business empire abroad couldn't be nothing but a gentle princess. "What do you like about me?" I asked, holding her gaze. "Everything," she said. "From the moment I saw you at the shooting club, I've watched you intensely, fascinated. You seemed fragile enough to crush with one hand, yet fiercely captivating. Loveless, insecure, mistrusting of anyone, yet able to create such clean, calm art. Everything about you hits my sweet spot." I slapped away her hand as she reached for my face. "Wow," I said. "You sound obsessed enough to be a stalker. So what do you want?" I looked at the wolf showing her teeth. "In the basement, you stayed with me for 3 days, she said. "That's when I thought, I wish you'd always be by my side." Catherine's hand slid from my cheek to my throat, applying slight pressure. It was like she held my life in her hand, strong yet so controlling. "Be my other half," she said. "I can be your family, your friend, your lover, any relationship you want, to shower you with all my love, and I will be yours completely. My wealth, family, body, soul, and life." At that moment, time seemed to stand still. I was tempted by her promise of all her love. I heard myself say, "Okay." Then I was pulled into an embrace that felt like it controlled my entire world. We shared a powerful kiss. Catherine was both my breath and the one who wanted to consume my soul. The next morning, the sound of a ringing phone woke me up. My phone is always on silent, and since staying here, only Catherine has my number. The sound was really annoying. I was about to get up and throw it, but a hand gently touched my face, calming me down. Releasing the tension from my lips, Catherine's voice was soft in my ear. "It's okay," she said. "It's my phone, sweetheart." She picked up the phone, glanced at the screen, neither answering nor rejecting it. Snuggled in Catherine's arms, I opened my eyes and looked up. She raised an eyebrow and said, "It's Sophia. Do you want to take it?" She kissed me briefly. "Sure," I said. "Give it here." I rolled my eyes. "Catherine, you're so childish." "Sophia," I said, "I heard you took Leo to the dance yesterday. Thank you for looking after him. Leo isn't used to these kinds of events. Hope he wasn't a bother." I cleared my throat. "I didn't trouble Catherine," I said, and actually listened to her quite a bit. Listening all the way into the same bed, cursing myself for being so easily convinced by her last night. "Leo, yeah," Sophia said. "Looks like it was actually your call." Catherine handed me the phone. "Good habit waking up early," Sophia said. "Keep it up." She might have thought we were already up having breakfast. I didn't feel like explaining either. "Okay, sis," I said. After a few meaningless chats, Sophia hung up the phone. She was standing with some friends at the golf course. One of them looked quite smug, saying, "See, I told you. Last night my sister went to Mrs. Miller's dinner and immediately recognized Leo." Sophia's little brother. Sophia looked at her phone screen with a puzzled expression. "Got any photos?" she asked. "Yeah," her friend Tom said. "My sister sent me some." "Leo never dressed this well back home," Tom joked. "Is it because you, as his sister, don't let him?" It was only after a few laughs that he noticed the mood had changed. "Let me see the photos," Sophia said, her voice completely cold. "Okay," Tom said, barely bringing up the chat history when Sophia snatched the phone away. Tom's sister had taken a dozen photos. There were ones with Leo and Catherine entering arm in arm, dancing in the ballroom, and Catherine pulling Leo away by the hand. Tom's sister had noted, "These two are definitely a couple, aren't they? Mom said I should get to know Catherine, but turns out she's already taken. You have to admit, Sophia, Tom said as Sophia's face got darker. Your brother's pretty good looking. Can't believe you're not tempted. Hey, Sophia, Tom chirped as he tried to get his phone back. Easy on my phone, it's gonna get bent. Maria saw the photos too, sighed, and tried to comfort Sophia. Leo does look nice in a suit, she said. At least he's attending events now. That's progress. Sophia swatted Maria's hand away from her shoulder, gritting her teeth. Catherine. After getting together with Catherine, I felt like my whole world changed. The day after we got together, Catherine handed me a property transfer document. All the properties under her name, including the estate we were living in, were now in my name. Plus, a large part of her companies at home and abroad. Are you crazy? I asked. In the study, Catherine sat in the office chair, going through the stack of documents. No, she said. What if I hadn't agreed to be with you? We aren't even married. What if I ran off with the money? I asked, looking back at the woman with a loving smile. Yeah, Catherine said, laughing. I think I am crazy. A big lunatic with a little one, perfect match. And babe, that surprised kitten look is so cute. I'm trying to think of more I should give you. I quickly covered her mouth, looking at her with fake disgust. Ugh, you're so mushy. But oh, how sweet it felt inside. I smiled slightly, gazing at Catherine lovingly. All right, I said. I guess I've got to take care of the woman I chose. Leo, this is our home now, Catherine said softly, resting her head on my neck. I looked at the sunlight spilling into the study, the air carrying a sweet scent. I inhaled deeply, taking it all in. Okay, I responded with a slight smile. I've never been happier. We have a home now. In the midst of our happiness, my phone rang. Ever since Catherine discovered that certain ringtones made me anxious, she changed all my ringtones to her humming, which did wonders for calming me down. Glancing at the call, I saw it was a video call from my mother. It's all right, Catherine whispered, kissing my ear softly. Go ahead. I got myself ready and answered. Leo, my mother said, when are you coming home? 5 months, I said. Sophia's grandpa is having a birthday party next week, she said. You should go. All right, I said. Are you having issues with Sophia? No, she said. Then why are you bothering me with this stuff? Don't call me for small matters. Sure, I said, staring at my phone. After the call ended, Catherine stroked my hair, softly comforting me. Leo, she said. I don't think I feel sad anymore, I said. I don't even care why she dislikes me. Catherine turned me to face her and kissed my forehead, murmuring, Good boy. I touched my forehead, then hugged Catherine tightly, my eyes red with emotion. No more sadness. No more having to put up with things. Leo and Catherine returned the day before Sophia's grandpa's birthday. He took her to stay at the family villa. Catherine made a face after seeing his paintings, pouting the whole night until he promised to paint more for her. Arriving at the party, the hall was filled with people. Before they could find his family, Catherine was surrounded by people making small talk. Leo quietly slipped to a quiet corner, sipping red wine. Leo? A voice called out. He looked up, recognizing David in a fancy suit, the one man he couldn't stand. Ignoring Leo's eye roll, David sat beside him. Didn't think you'd be back, David teased, swirling his wine glass. Kind of thought you had the courage to leave Sophia alone. A man should have some dignity, David said, not stick like glue to the Liu family. You have no idea how much Sophia's mom looks down on you. A child born but not raised by a mother. Bringing up the engagement was just to save face for the old man, David said. You're just a sideshow, I'm the man fit to stand beside Sophia." As David babbled, Leo stared at his wine, lost in thought. Of course, David knew all about Leo's severe mental health struggles. He had gotten angry before because of some stupid gossip about tea. Back then, he was hugely insecure about Sophia being distant, so David's attempts to provoke him always worked perfectly. But now the truth is finally out. Leo felt sick, like he wanted to punch someone, but he couldn't mess up Sophia's grandpa's birthday party. He got up, planning to move away from him. "Oops," David said, accidentally spilling the red wine all over himself. "Leo, I've got no inappropriate feelings for Helen," David said, raising his voice, drawing the attention of everyone in the room. "No need to see every guy around her as a threat." Leo, sensing something, turned around. Sure enough, Sophia was helping her grandpa out of the room, with her mother following behind. "Leo, what are you up to again?" Sophia frowned at David's stained clothes and shot Leo a disapproving look. Sophia's mother added, also looking unhappy, "Leo, it's Grandpa's birthday, and you're not even engaged to Sophia yet. You can't start nonsense here. What have I told you before? Jealousy with no regard to the occasion is so petty." Even Sophia's grandpa frowned, tapping heavily on his cane a few times. "Leo," he said, "you better go home and think about what you've done. I've got to keep you in line for your grandpa." This is insane, I thought. Are we shooting a dramatic family sitcom here? I was stunned by their comments. "Leo!" Catherine hurried over from the other side of the room, frowning with an incredibly serious look. "It's fine," I said softly, reassuring her as I gave her hand a gentle squeeze. David sulked behind Sophia, and her mother patted his hand reassuringly. Sometimes when you're unable to speak, you can only laugh. Ignoring their accusations, I calmly pulled out a voice recorder from my handbag. I turned up the volume and hit play. "You have no idea how much Sophia's mom loves you," the recording said. Suddenly, the room went so quiet you could hear a pin drop. The people watching went from curious to looking mean. Their faces turned into a mix of colors. A random woman snickered, and soon everyone started whispering amongst themselves. I put on my best fake professional smile and switched off the recorder. What a joke, I thought. From a young age, I was bullied a lot, so I've always been on guard. A voice recorder is an essential item for me. Before he could think too much about it, Catherine already pulled him into an embrace, speaking softly. "Darling," she said, "did I do something wrong? Why do Sophia's mom and grandpa hate me so much? I wanted to introduce you as my boyfriend." Catherine looked at them with determined eyes. "If we are not welcome here," she said softly, along with Leo as they walked out. "Felix and I won't interrupt the birthday celebration." Once at home, as soon as we were inside, Catherine wrapped her arms around my neck and kissed me passionately. My mind went blank as I bent my head, enjoying her intense love. After what felt like ages, she reluctantly pulled back. Leo, she said, "do you know how attractive you are? The way you stand up to people is so damn appealing." "Tell me," she said. "Did you put some sort of spell on me in that moment?" I gently pushed her away. Whether acting calm in serious situations or passionate in private, I was completely captivated by Catherine. But I really liked this side of her. "What I long for most is love bold enough to show," I said. I wrapped an arm around Catherine's waist, pulling her closer. "Maybe it's because you've got my back that I dare to be this bold. I'm naturally a vengeful, spiteful guy. And now that I've got support, anyone who crosses me is getting bitten back." She laughed so hard her chest shook, hugging me tighter. "Fine," she said. "If you can't bite back, I'll be the one to take the snap." When I woke up the next day, it was already noon. In a daze, I finished washing up, went downstairs, and saw Catherine cooking up a storm in the kitchen, wearing an apron and all. Watching her skillfully cook and chop, I hugged her from behind. "Get enough sleep?" she asked. "Great, lunch will be ready soon." I was just about to take a peek at what she was making when the doorbell rang. I rushed out of the kitchen to answer it. It was Sophia at the door. I gently closed the door and turned around to face her. "About yesterday," Sophia said. "I'm sorry." Sophia's voice was rough, and her eyes had a hint of darkness under them. "I'm not just going to say it's okay," I said. "If apologies worked, why would we need the police? Any other business?" "I'd like to go back to having my brunch," I said. "Was what you did yesterday with Catherine just to make me angry?" she asked. "We shouldn't drag others into our issues," I said, "especially when Catherine has a busy life. Stop bothering her all the time." "It wasn't to upset you," I said. "Catherine's my girlfriend. She's not a stranger, she's family now." I looked into her eyes, speaking sincerely. Sophia froze, then widened her eyes in disbelief. Her voice even got louder. "You and Catherine? Do you even know what you're doing?" she asked. "She's 3 years older than me." I shrugged. "Yeah," I said. "She's only 6 years older than me. It's not like she's 10 or 20 years older. That age difference is normal, right? She doesn't treat me like a kid." Sophia still looked like she couldn't accept it, and then grabbed my arm, frowning. "No," she said. I tried to pull away, but couldn't. "Why not?" she asked. "You know, don't try to come between us. Let go of me. Do you know her family isn't normal?" I paused a bit, stunned. "What?" I asked. "Do you know?" "Catherine's mom was driven to her death by her dad," Sophia said. "Catherine's dad is an obsessive control freak who kept her mom at home for 10 years. Her mom developed severe depression. One moment she was waving to Catherine from downstairs, and the next she jumped and died right in front of her. Catherine saw her mom die with her own eyes. Her dad's a control freak, and she is too. Do you even know the darkness of her methods in Italy? Anyone who betrays her faces terrifying consequences." "How dare you?" Sophia was teary-eyed, shaking my shoulders. "I know." I looked down and smiled. "I know, sis. I felt it the moment I met her." "What?" Sophia seemed like she didn't get what I meant at first. She'd decide things for me, like what to eat or where, and how to manage time between school and hobbies. Everything was perfectly arranged. Later, I had to report who I met and what time I'd be home. But isn't that what I wanted? A control freak and a dependent personality. A perfect match. She never minded me clinging to her or me being a loner with no friends. She'd make choices for me when I couldn't. I moved Sophia's hands from my shoulders. "Sis," I said, "Catherine's like my other half. I used to dream of someone who'd center their world around me, control me, love me, give me a sense of security. Life's short, and since I've met someone who fits me so well, why should I struggle to change? Besides, I feel we're getting better." She changed Leo's strict schedule to let him sleep till he's rested. She'd encourage me to do whatever I wanted, and even if I stumbled, she'd be there to catch me. My dependence gave her a sense of belonging in the world. She wasn't that cold, profit-driven business person anymore, not the crazy person hiding in a basement when upset, hurting herself. We were home to each other. Thinking about it, I really want to go back to the room and hug Catherine. "Sis," I said, "I clung too much to you and might have been a burden. I get mad and sad when you misunderstood me. Still, I'm grateful for the care you've given me since I was little." After watching Sophia leave, I opened the door. Catherine was standing less than 10 steps away, head down, looking at her phone. Hearing me come back, her face lit up with a smile as she spread her arms. "Catherine!" I hugged her with a grin. "What are you making? Smells so good." "Green pepper beef strips," she said. She pulled me towards the dining area. Your checkup showed you're anemic, so our Leo needs iron. But I don't like green peppers. Tough, she said. At least one bite. I cut them really fine, sautéed soft. You'll barely taste them mixed in rice. Okay, I said. I'll have a bit. Good boy, she said. We weren't in a rush to get back to Italy. Since we're here, why not explore? On a private racetrack in Hitching, a black and a red sports car were neck and neck, wheels spinning fast, engines roaring across the track. In the end, the black car edged out the red by a second. After stopping, 2 drivers got out, a man and a woman. I won! Catherine leaned against the door, gesturing to the red car driver. I pulled her in and nibbled on her exposed neck. It tasted like salty sweat. The adrenaline rush had me thrilled. We kissed passionately. Next time I'll beat you, I said. A fluke this time. I'll try harder, she said. My opponent was tough, sure. We also hit a few auctions. Catherine became obsessed with picking items, and I'd raise bids and buy them for her, though it was all with her money. In a bar's private room. Sophia, slow down, Maria said. You'll get alcohol poisoning. Maria snatched a bottle from Sophia, trying to snap her out of it. Why? Sophia asked. Maria leaned in close. Why isn't Leo hanging with his sister anymore? She asked. It's been ages since he asked me to watch movies or paint. No one's better or sweeter than Leo. David, yeah, David, Sophia said. I fired him. He stirred trouble. Made my little Leo so upset he went abroad. Leo, Leo. Sophia covered her face, tears leaking through her fingers. I regret it. Maria lit a cigarette in frustration. Being Sophia's best friend, she always thought Sophia's feelings for Leo weren't just sibling-like. Back then, even if she'd said it, Sophia wouldn't believe her. So she tried to prevent Sophia from hurting Leo. Now Sophia's dealing with the mess she made. People often realize the value of ordinary things only after losing them. Extra in the morning, Catherine watched her husband with admiration. Married 7 years, Leo only grew more charming. Together they explored new worlds, attended the same university, enjoying campus romance. Post-grad they traveled and did charity work, writing about their journey. They had been unwinding at the estate for 3 months and planned to head to Antarctica next month, busy prepping, but loving it. Over these years, Leo cut all ties with his family. He heard they split and started new families. The reason for his parents' neglect, Catherine thought it probably didn't matter to Leo anymore. Some truths aren't pretty, so in their story, no need for past answers. Knowing changes nothing, just adds worry. As for Sophia, her tale's more tangled. Still a mess with David from back then. David got married. Surprising, huh? Sure is. Back then, David took advantage of a drunk Sophia. After he fled to the countryside, Sophia got pregnant and couldn't bring herself to abort. Forced by her elders, the two just got a marriage certificate only. That after David used the money for his family. Later they found out David had 3 sisters. They caused chaos, exploiting their connection to Sophia. But by now, Sophia's parents couldn't regret more, even if they tried. Word is they're in the middle of a divorce. David is demanding a huge chunk of their company, fighting tooth and nail for it. Sophia's mom somehow found Leo's new phone number, but Catherine was the one who answered. She's got Leo's, she said. Go ahead. To manage these kinds of social calls, no one was going to mess with their life. Thinking of all this, Catherine glanced at the clock. It was almost time for Leo to wake up. They were going to grab breakfast out today. She'd have to pick out something for Leo to wear. It's wisteria season outside, so matching purple outfits seemed perfect for today. Catherine planted a kiss on Leo's cheek. Good morning to a brand new day, my other half.
Good enough at hiding the evidence, my wife said. My son was like, you guys got McDonald's?
There was one time my in-laws were visiting us when we were when we still lived up in Washington, and it was for Easter, and my mother-in-law was making a ham, and she wanted maraschino cherries to put on the ham, and she made a big deal about it. So my wife and I had to leave and go to the store and get maraschino cherries.
Yeah.
And on the way back, we were fucking hungry. So my wife and I stopped at McDonald's and got like a couple McDoubles, and we ate them in the car so her mom wouldn't know. But I guess her mom went out to the car to grab something and saw the McDonald's bag, and she was pissed. She came back in and she was like, we would have liked some McDonald's. It was so funny. I was
My mother-in-law used to get super jealous in the beginning because they live like the next town over from us.
Mhm.
And so when we would visit, I used to live over there. And so I know like there's a really good place there that sells carne asada nachos, like
Mhm.
really, really good. And so
That sounds
I
good.
would get the nachos when we would head over there, and then I'd bring them to her house because not that I don't like her food, but like it's like a memory thing for me. Like it's like a tradition. Like, oh, when I come here, I gotta get these fucking nachos.
Mhm.
And I remember in the beginning, my wife was like, "Babe, you're making my mom like think that you don't like her food because she usually makes food for us when we come over, and she wants to feed us."
Mhm.
And I'm like, I understand that, but like, I really love these fucking nachos, and we don't come all the time. And so, yeah, she eventually got used to it.